Imagine dropping like 50 grand on a luxury electric SUV.
Right.
But the real reason the company sold it to you, it wasn't to make a profit on the hardware. It was so they could charge you $200 a month to let you sleep at the wheel.
Yeah, it's a totally radical survival plan.
It really is. Welcome to the deep dive, everyone. Today our mission is to decode a massive stack of sources. We've got SEC 8K filings, official press releases, and media reports from places like Clean Technica.
And we are zeroing in on Lucid Group's recent March 2026 Investor Day, which frankly outlines one of the most ambitious corporate pivots I think we've seen in recent automotive history.
Oh, absolutely. Because, for years, the name Lucid basically meant one thing.
Very expensive cars.
Exactly. A niche, ultra-luxury EV for early adopters with very deep pockets. Price tags well north of $70,000.
Incredible performance, but very low volume.
Right. But looking through the stack of documents, they are suddenly trying to become this mass market, high volume powerhouse. And I just keep wondering, how do you just flip a switch like that?
Well, you don't. You definitely don't just flip a switch. The broad vision is grand, obviously, but the actual blueprint for survival,
Yeah.
it's buried in the microscopic engineering choices.
The nuts and bolts.
Exactly. The software architecture, the strategic partnerships, that's really what makes this pivot physically and financially possible.
Well, let's get into the physical hardware first, because the core announcement from this investor day is this brand new midsize platform.
Coming in late 2026.
Right, late 2026. And the headline that genuinely made me do a double take is the price tag, starting below $50,000.
It's a huge drop.
It feels suspiciously cheap for a brand built on six-figure sedans,
It's a massive shift in their market positioning. They're launching two specific models to anchor this new price point. First, you have the Lucid Cosmos.
Which is the sporty one, right?
Yeah, a sporty, highly efficient SUV. And then the second is the Lucid Earth, which leans much more into like the adventure and utility side of things.
Got it. And they teased a third one too, didn't they?
They did, an unnamed model to follow. But honestly, the most important element here isn't just the sticker price. It's the specs they're promising at that price.
Right, the numbers are wild.
They are targeting an efficiency of up to 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour, a 0 to 60 time of 3.5 seconds, and segment-leading interior space.
Okay, wait. This is where the math totally stops making sense to me.
How so?
Well, they want to sell a Michelin star dining experience, basically, at fast casual prices. If you slash the price tag to under 50 grand, but you keep supercar acceleration
Right.
and you keep the massive luxury interior space and the best-in-class range, I mean, how does a company not just go bankrupt on every single car rolling off the assembly line?
That is the big question. And the foundational logic here is expanding the total addressable market, or TAM. By dropping that starting price below 50K, Lucid expands its potential customer base by roughly 10 times.
10 times. Wow.
Yeah. But you're right to be skeptical, because volume alone doesn't fix negative unit economics.
Right, you make a loss on one, you make a bigger loss on a million.
Exactly. You can't just slap a $50,000 sticker on a $70,000 car and hope to make it up in volume. You would bleed cash instantly.
Yeah.
So they are targeting a radically different demographic now.
Yeah, looking at the data from the sources, the average age of a current Lucid buyer is 49. So are they going after a significantly younger crowd with the Cosmos and the Earth?
Considerably younger, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For the Cosmos, the internal target is what they call upscale nurturers.
Upscale nurturers, that's quite a marketing term.
It really is.
Yeah.
Think luxury-forward millennial parents, average age of about 41. And then the Earth is targeting active explorers, averaging around 39. So they're moving from the older, purely affluent, early adopter to younger families and professionals, people who need the vehicle to be this functional daily family hub.
Right, getting the kids to soccer practice, but in style.
Exactly. But to service that market without going bankrupt, they had to completely reinvent the physical manufacturing process from the ground up.
Because they need it to be cheaper to build.
Much cheaper.
Yeah.
Management is actually projecting cost reductions of up to 70% per unit on this midsize platform.
Wait, 70%?
Compared to their current vehicles, yeah.
That is an astronomical number in manufacturing. If you cut 70% of the cost out of a car, how does it not just feel like you're driving a tin can?
That's the challenge, right?
Yeah. How are they achieving that without totally destroying the luxury feel the brand is actually known for?
The answer is radical simplification. And it starts right at the heart of the car, with their next-generation electric motor and drivetrain. They call it the Atlas Drive Unit.
The Atlas unit. Okay.
This unit is physically smaller and lighter than their previous ones. But the structural design is where the real cost savings happen. The front and rear housings and the mounts on the Atlas unit, they're entirely identical.
Oh, I love that. It's literally like building with Lego bricks.
Exactly.
If you standardize the core pieces so they can just be snapped onto either the front or the back of the car interchangeably, mass production becomes infinitely cheaper and faster.
Precisely. You don't need two separate assembly lines. You don't need two separate metal stamping machines or two different supply chains for front and rear housings.
That is so smart.
It is the essence of their design for manufacturing philosophy. Basically, every unique part you eliminate is a logistical headache you've just cured.
Right, it's addition by subtraction.
And this philosophy extends from the internal motors all the way to the exterior body of the vehicle. One of the specific examples they highlighted in the investor presentations is the total elimination of traditional beltline moldings on the doors.
Wait, hold on. Just getting rid of a piece of plastic or chrome trim on the outside of the door?
Yeah.
How much can that possibly save a multi-billion-dollar company?
Well, in isolation, maybe a few dollars per car.
Right.
But in automotive manufacturing, eliminating a single trim piece across hundreds of thousands of vehicles fundamentally changes your operational overhead.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
You no longer have to source that part from a third-party vendor. You don't have to ship it across the ocean or store it in a massive inventory warehouse.
Or build a robotic arm to install it.
Or pay a human assembly worker to snap it into place, exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, you eliminate the risk of that specific part rattling or breaking under warranty later on.
Oh, warranty claims. Yeah, those add up.
It lowers the production cost instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And paradoxically, the designers argue it actually gives the exterior a sleeker, more modern aesthetic.
So less really is more, both financially and visually. But, I mean, even if you simplify the motor housings and you remove the exterior door trim, I just don't see how that adds up to a 70% reduction. There has to be a much bigger lever they are pulling to get those kinds of numbers.
There is. It's the biggest lever they have, and we can call it the efficiency multiplier.
Okay, lay it on me.
Remember that 4.5 miles per kilowatt-hour metric we mentioned earlier?
Right, the efficiency rating, which the filings note puts them about 15% better than their nearest competitor.
Exactly. That 15% advantage creates a massive cascade of secondary savings throughout the entire vehicle.
How so?
Because the drive unit uses electrical energy so efficiently, the car requires a significantly smaller battery pack to achieve the exact same 300-plus mile range as a competitor.
Oh, wow. And the battery is the big one.
It is. The battery pack is notoriously the single most expensive component in any electric vehicle. It typically makes up 30 to 40% of the total cost of the car.
Okay, so shrinking the battery immediately slashes the single most expensive line item on the spreadsheet.
Yes. And the savings just cascade from there. A smaller battery pack weighs significantly less, obviously.
Right.
And when you remove hundreds of pounds from the floor of the car, everything else gets cheaper. You don't need as massive of a suspension system to hold the car up.
That makes sense.
You don't need brakes that are as large or expensive to stop all that mass. A lighter car requires less structural reinforcement, which means less steel and aluminum in the frame.
It just keeps going.
It does. And because the battery is physically smaller, it takes up less space, which is exactly how they deliver that class-leading interior volume in a midsize footprint.
Oh, so that's how it's so roomy inside.
Right. The initial electrical efficiency of the motor acts as a multiplier that literally shrinks the cost, weight, and complexity of the entire vehicle.
That is such a fascinating domino effect. The motor is highly efficient, so the battery shrinks, which means the suspension shrinks, the metal frame gets lighter, which in turn makes the motor even more efficient because it's pushing less weight.
It's a perfect virtuous cycle.
It really is.
And that virtuous cycle is honestly the only way a $50,000 price tag makes economic sense while still delivering high-end luxury performance.
But even with those massive 70% cost reductions, the margins on a $50,000 car have to be incredibly tight in today's economy.
Oh, razor thin.
So selling the physical hardware to you, the consumer, almost feels like a loss leader, because when you dig into the second half of these filings, it becomes incredibly obvious that they are chasing a totally different gold mine.
They absolutely are.
They want to make their real money after the car leaves the lot.
Yes. They have mapped out a recurring revenue model that is entirely focused on software and subscriptions. with a stated goal to generate roughly $1 billion in annual non-vehicle revenue.
$1 billion a year, just from the digital ecosystem inside the cars.
Which is wild for a traditional car company.
It really is, and they're attacking this through two main channels based on the sources. The first is their in-car experience, the Lucid Intelligence AI experience.
Or AIX.
Right, AIX. And this isn't just, a voice assistant that turns on the radio or sets the navigation. The sources describe it as a personalized, multimodal, in-car assistant built with cultural intelligence.
Yeah, the architecture relies on an underlying framework of long-term memories.
Like it actually remembers you.
Exactly. The car essentially learns your habits, your daily routes, your temperature preferences, your routines over time, and it customizes the environment before you even have to ask.
That's pretty cool.
It transforms the cabin from just a static space into a personalized digital node.
But the second channel is the one that really made me stop and scratch my head. They are rolling out a tiered subscription model for autonomy.
They're advanced driver assistance systems.
ADS.
Right. According to the presentation, they plan to charge between $69 and $199 a month for these features.
Per month.
Per month. And they are scaling this aggressively from level 2++ all the way up to level 4 autonomy. The timeline they've laid out projects hands-free highway driving by 2026 or 2027, leading to full mind-off autonomy by 2029.
Right.
And just for context, level 4 mind-off autonomy means the driver can completely disengage from the physical and mental task of driving.
Hmm.
The car is fully responsible for monitoring the environment, reacting to hazards, navigating everything.
It is the holy grail that the entire auto industry is racing toward.
Exactly.
Okay, but I have to jump in here and be a skeptic for a second.
Please do.
I just spent $50,000 on a brand new, highly efficient luxury SUV. Am I really going to stomach paying another $200 a month just to let the car change lanes for me?
It's a steep ask.
It is. We are living in an era of massive subscription fatigue. I already subscribe to my television shows, my music, my gym, my meal kits, my computer software.
Everyone is feeling it.
The idea of subscribing to my steering wheel feels deeply psychologically offensive. Are consumers really going to pay this?
Well, the resistance to hardware subscriptions is well documented and entirely justified. If a car company charges you $20 a month simply to unlock the heated seats that are already physically built into your car, consumers naturally revolt.
Because it feels like a scam.
They feel nickel and dimed for hardware they already bought. But Lucid is trying to position this entirely differently. They aren't selling a feature. They are selling a service that alters the fundamental nature of a commute.
Okay, how so? What makes this different than unlocking a heated seat?
Time. It's all about time. Legacy automakers rely on a transactional model. They sell you a car once, and it slowly depreciates in your driveway while you spend hundreds of hours a year staring at the bumper in front of you in traffic.
Very depressing, but true.
But by shifting to a technology company model, Lucid is trying to monetize the recapture of that lost time. If the Level 4 systems genuinely allow you to safely open your laptop and work, or read a book, or literally sleep during a grueling hour-long commute,
Oh, wow.
that $199 a month isn't a subscription for lane changes. It's the purchase of 20 extra hours a month of free time.
I never thought about it like that.
For a busy professional or the upscale nurturer parent they are targeting, that suddenly becomes the most valuable software subscription in their life.
So they are essentially reframing it entirely. You aren't paying for the car to drive. You are buying back an hour of your day every single day.
Exactly.
Framed like that, $200 a month actually sounds like a bargain for a busy executive.
But the psychological barrier only breaks if the software delivers undeniable life-changing utility. If it just beeps at you when you drift over a painted line, no one pays $200 a month.
Right.
It has to be true mind-off capability to justify that recurring revenue.
But let's say I'm not that busy executive. Let's say I just don't want to buy a car at all. Because reading further into these SEC filings, Lucid's roadmap doesn't just rely on convincing individuals to buy subscriptions.
No, it doesn't.
They are taking a massive swing into the commercial B2B sector.
The robotaxi market.
Yeah.
They are projecting more than $2 billion in revenue from B2B partnerships and robotaxis by the late decade. This commercial application is central to their strategy of expanding their total addressable market to over $700 billion by 2035.
$700 billion. That number is just hard to even visualize. And it isn't just an abstract idea scribbled on a whiteboard either. The sources reveal advanced discussions with Uber to deploy these new mid-size platform vehicles at a massive scale.
Yeah, there's a highly revealing quote in the press release from Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi. He specifically points to Lucid's unmatched efficiency and their autonomy-ready vehicle architectures as the foundational reasons for this alignment.
And to really cement this idea, they introduced a brand new vehicle concept called the Lunar.
The Lunar, yes.
It's a purpose-built, two-seat robotaxi concept designed entirely around efficiency and lifetime operating economics. It sits right on top of this new mid-size platform we've been talking about.
That's right.
So just picture this for a second. You pull out your phone, you order an Uber, and instead of a guy in a Camry, a sleek, entirely autonomous two-seat Lucid Lunar pulls up with absolutely no driver inside.
It feels like science fiction.
Totally.
But the business strategy behind it is incredibly grounded.
Uh-huh.
Think about the historical approach to disrupting the ride-hailing industry.
Yeah.
If a traditional tech company wants to build a robotaxi network from scratch, they have to burn through billions of dollars building their own consumer app, then running massive marketing campaigns to get people to actually download it.
And fighting Uber for every single rider in every single city.
Exactly. It's a massive fiery cash bonfire.
Right, you'd be fighting a war on two fronts.
Yeah.
Building the complicated autonomous cars and trying to bring a rival network to Uber at the exact same time.
But Lucid is sidestepping the network war completely. This is essentially the Intel Inside strategy of the 1990s.
Oh, that's a great comparison.
Lucid doesn't want to build a computer, which in this case is the ride-hailing network. They just want to be the hyper-efficient processor running inside it. They're saying to Uber, you already own the massive global network of users. We have the most efficient, cheapest to operate autonomous hardware on Earth. Let's combine them.
That makes perfect sense. Uber doesn't want to manufacture physical cars.
Definitely.
And Lucid doesn't want to build a ride-hailing app. So by licensing their high-efficiency platform to the companies that already own the customers, Lucid minimizes their marketing and customer acquisition costs.
While maximizing how many hours a day their vehicles are actually out on the road generating revenue.
It's an incredibly capital-efficient way to enter a market that traditionally destroys capital.
Absolutely.
So looking at the whole chessboard here, they have the highly efficient, low-cost physical hardware cascading into 70% cost savings.
Yep.
They have the recurring $200 a month software subscriptions giving people their time back. And they have the massive commercial Intel Inside robotaxi partnerships with giants like Uber.
It's a beautifully interconnected roadmap.
It is. But I've read enough 8K filings to know that a flawless slide deck does not guarantee a functioning business.
Very true.
We have to look at the actual financial realities of pulling this off.
The ultimate stress test.
Yeah.
Because the engineering can be perfect, the software can be absolute genius, but the balance sheet dictates survival.
Right. And Lucid's CFO, Taoufiq Boussaid, along with interim CEO Mark Winterhoff, laid out a very specific financial roadmap for the end of the decade.
They did.
They are projecting high teens, billions in revenue, mid-teens gross margins, and finally reaching free cash flow positivity.
Basically, they are promising a massive financial turnaround where the business generates more cash than it consumes to operate.
And to their credit, the documents show some immediate, tangible momentum to actually support that optimism. They recently launched the Lucid Gravity SUV, and the early sales data is surprisingly robust.
Yeah, Q4 sales of the Gravity were roughly 4 times that of Q3.
4 times. That's a massive jump in a single quarter.
It is. But the more critical metric, honestly, is who is buying them.
Okay, who are they?
80% of those Gravity buyers were completely new to the Lucid brand.
Wow, 80%.
That proves they have the ability to conquer new demographics and build a compelling product outside of their original luxury sedan niche. The demand for a Lucid SUV genuinely exists in the real world.
Okay, so the Gravity is proving they can attract new buyers, but I'm looking at these end-of-decade projections, and I have to throw a flag here.
Go for it.
This is a classic, massive hockey stick growth chart. The revenue stays flat for a while, and then suddenly, boom, there's a vertical explosion upward.
Yeah, investors love a hockey stick.
But they're relying on absolute flawless execution of this late 2026 launch for the midsize platform. And they are attempting this in an EV market that is incredibly unpredictable right now.
Very unpredictable.
Consumer demand is shifting back and forth between hybrids and EVs. Interest rates fluctuate. Global supply chains are constantly disrupted. Isn't betting the entire company on a flawless 2026 launch an incredibly precarious tightrope to walk?
Oh, it is a high-wire act with very little safety net beneath it.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. Validating that risk is important.
Right.
Because while the Gravity sales prove that Lucid can design and build a world-class product, scaling a $70,000 luxury SUV is a fundamentally different operational challenge than scaling a $50,000 mass-market vehicle to hundreds of thousands of units a year.
It's not just doing the same exact thing, but doing it faster.
Not at all. It requires entirely different supply chain negotiations,
Mm.
vastly tighter manufacturing tolerances, and completely distinct operational logistics.
Okay, so a whole new ball game.
Exactly.
Oh.
The technology inside the vehicle, the Atlas drive unit, the 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour efficiency, the AI software that is undeniably world-class, the physics absolutely work. But corporate survival doesn't just run on good physics. It runs on capital availability and flawless execution. They have to survive the immense capital burn required to build out these new mid-size production lines.
Which is going to be expensive.
Very. And more importantly, they have to avoid the infamous production hell that has plagued virtually every other EV startup when they attempt to jump from niche luxury to mass volume.
Oh, right, production hell. We've seen that movie before.
Exactly. If they face significant manufacturing delays in late 2026, that vertical hockey stick growth chart flattens out very quickly and the cash runway just disappears.
So pulling all of these threads together, we're looking at a company attempting one of the most difficult maneuvers in modern business.
Scaling down in price while simultaneously scaling up in volume and technological complexity.
Yeah. Lucid isn't just trying to build a cheaper electric vehicle with the cosmos and the Earth.
No, it's way bigger than that.
Through the Atlas drive unit's cascading efficiencies, the $199 a month AI subscriptions, and the Lunar robotaxi concept with Uber, they are basically trying to redefine how cars are built, how software is monetized, and how autonomous fleets operate, all at the exact same time.
It is a multifaceted bet. They are betting that the future of the automotive industry belongs to those who view the car not as a mechanical transportation device, but as an integrated, highly efficient, intelligent software node.
Which leaves us with a pretty wild final thought to mull over based on everything we've decoded today.
What's that?
Well, if this vision actually comes true, if a car's true value becomes its software, its AI, memory of your daily habits, and its ability to drive itself constantly in a massive robotaxi network,
Yeah.
are we witnessing the end of traditional car ownership?
Oh, wow.
Like 10 years from now, will you actually go to a dealership and buy a hunk of metal to sit idle in your garage for 22 hours a day?
Or will you just subscribe to a brand's mobility ecosystem, summoning a hyper-efficient, personalized node to your door exactly when you need it?
Exactly. It's crazy to think about.
It's a paradigm shift that could change our relationship with the built environment entirely.
It really could. And on that note, we want to warmly and genuinely thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yes, thank you so much.
We know your time is incredibly valuable, and we are so grateful for your curiosity and your attention from start to finish as we explored this massive transformation. Keep questioning the world around you, and we will see you next time.